Welcome to the Ethan and Elvin Show. I'm your host, Ethan Ziltener. It's episode 53. I'm the creator, the executive producer. I got Jake Beckett here. What's going on, Jake?
Not too bad. Yourself?
I'm all right, thanks. Elvin Mims, my co-host, 14-year professional basketball player. What's going on, Elvin?
Nothing much, man. Chilling, just feeling as loud as that shirt right now.
It's
a lot of life. That's a lot of life going on in
that.
Oh, man.
All right, let's get them all out of the way.
No, I'm done.
You got any more?
No, I might say one. I might think of one to
I figured.
Send them out with a bang.
Anyways, we're based out of London, Ontario, Canada. We got some NBA news to go over quickly. Isaiah Thomas. He came back Tuesday night, fellas. It was not a bad game. Played against the Portland Trailblazers. He had 17 points, 3 assists, 19 minutes. I get the feeling that seems to be his minute restriction for probably a little bit. What do you guys think? How many more minutes do you perceive to think he will get?
I think they'll try to keep him around that 20-minute mark and we gradually push it up. I think they get themselves into the All-Star break to just fully unleash him and let him go with unrestricted
minutes. They'll have
minutes.
that little chunk of time off.
Yeah, because when you come back from any kind of injury, surgery, and stuff like that, you can get in game shape, working out, running and stuff, but you can't get into that game shape with the banging, taking the bumps on you wherever you got hurt at and all that stuff. So they want to go in, restrict his minutes, give him a day or two to just kind of recover, let his body get back in knack, and then just give it to him again. Smart move by the staff, because they got it rolling without him right now. So I don't want to see him just making him that much tougher once he's 100%. So there's no sense in throwing him out there and re-aggravating whatever was going on.
What do you think, Jake?
Yeah, like Ethan said, Elvin said, sorry.
Different.
They've got it going right now, so why mix it up too bad? Obviously, he's a great talent. He's going to come in. He's going to help any team. So when he does get back, when they do get him back off his minutes restriction, it'll be good for him. But right now, it's why if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, he's filling in the backup role pretty good. He didn't play against Boston, though, fellas. I got some fans out there wondering. They're going, is there something behind this? Is there more to it than we realize? Or was it just because they went, oh, you happen to be able to play on Tuesday? Sweet. You're not going to be able to play back-to-back. So, they probably were aware of this going into it, saying you're not going to be able to play the 3 games in 5 nights if there ever is a stretch like that. You're not playing back-to-backs. You're only playing 20 minutes until the new year. Until the All-Star break. And, yeah, I don't know. That's what I think. But was there more to it? Do you think he wanted to wait to be 100% to play against Boston, fellas? What do you think, Jake?
I think there might be a little bit more to it. This is his former team, a team that traded him. I know he said he has nothing but love for the city of Boston and the organization there. But if you get traded, and I'm not a player, so I can't speak to this, Elvin will have a little more on this, you're going to want to go at a team that's traded you, even on the minute restriction. So there might be a little bit more to it. I don't think it was his choice. It might have been coach in the front office that wanted to rest him a little bit. But if I was Thomas, I would have wanted to play in that Celtics game rather than the Blazers game.
Yeah, that's what I thought he would have tried to have done. But anyways, what do you think, Elvin?
I think that he wanted to play, but I know that they probably had a timeline where they wanted to get him back on the floor. And you don't want his first game to be an emotional-driven game like that, and he go out and trying to go crazy, 100 miles an hour, and you wind up hurting them in the long run. I think the decision that they made was going to be, regardless of who they was playing the following game. It didn't matter if they was playing the Brooklyn next Phoenix. So it doesn't matter who they was playing. He was going to sit out. They said, we were going to play you this game, which is smart. You play him against a Portland team who's without Damian Lillard right now and stuff, and let him go out and get into his groove, get the confidence going in both the injury and his game, and then, just manage his minutes well. And I need for him to just, understand the situation and the organization to understand the situation and keep him out of that game. It speaks volume for both.
So when are him and Derrick Rose going to do the flip-flop? After the All-Star break, you think they're going to start transitioning from Derrick Rose being the backup point guard and more keeping Isaiah Thomas then with the starting unit? Or is Isaiah Thomas going to be the sixth man?
No, I think there's no way he'll be there's no way that I see them bringing him off the bench once he gets back, full gone. You want to have your guns out there from the get-go. I mean, you don't want to. Right about now in today's NBA, it's so much talent, so many teams with so much depth. You don't want to go out there and save anything. Like they say in basketball, you want to start strong and finish strong. Everything in the middle, you just want to manage, right? So you don't want to go out and get to a slow start while you got, guy who was third and voting for MVP the previous year sitting on the bench saying, okay, well, we just got this firepower. It's like you go out and you try to bash people ahead and from the get-go. So.
What's your take on it, Jake?
Yeah, once he's off the minute restrictions, I can't see him coming off the bench behind Derrick Rose. I can see them, Tyronn Lue maybe messing with a little, coming out with a few different lineups where maybe they both play together. But like Elvin said, you can't bring a healthy Thomas off the bench when the alternative is Derrick Rose. No disrespect to Derrick Rose, but he's not Isaiah Thomas right now.
Yeah, very true. Very true. All right, guys. I wrote the script a little bit late last night, so I got a little bit in my conspiracy theory mode. All right, so I read this little article on The Score where it says Dan Gilbert pressed LeBron James to see if he would commit to next season. He couldn't get a clear answer out of him. Elvin and I discussed this in the summertime. We've got about 50 games playing into the season so far, so it'll be nice to, now that we've got a little body of work. The Cavaliers are sitting third in the Eastern Conference, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Anyways, Dan Gilbert couldn't get a straight answer out of him, and I think here's my theory as to why LeBron James hasn't committed just yet. Dan Gilbert was supposed to commit $106 million to renovations towards Quicken Loan Arena. That never happened. Now he just backed out last minute in August. When the Kyrie Irving trade was rumored and all that jazz was happening, then all of a sudden Kyrie Irving gets traded. Dan Gilbert pulls out the $106 million investment. Maybe LeBron James knows something we don't know, and I'll ask Jake first because I asked Owen first last time. What do you think is the reason behind LeBron James not committing yet?
I think he just wants to keep his options open. Yeah, you're the best player in the world. If the team's not going to show a true commitment, like what you're saying with what happened with Dan Gilbert, then you want to keep, you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. Even last year with Kevin Durant, he didn't give a true commitment to coming back to Golden State for this year, but he ended up doing it anyways. I think it's a matter of just keeping their options.
So he's got to play it out to win, is what you think?
Yeah, that's what it.
What do you think, E?
Just like Jake said, you just got to keep your options open. One thing that we know that LeBron knows as well as his value as a player.
Oh, yes.
He can go in, and I don't really think at this point.
He wants a max.
I don't think at this point in his career he's really worried too much about money. It's too much on the back end for endorsements for him to worry about an NBA check, sort of say.
So he's going to sign with the Spurs?
I think because LeBron, he's 33 now. He don't really have time for rebuilding. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what it is. So, like, he wants to – I think he's just leaving his option open to see what direction they're taking about putting a good core around him. And if he don't like it, he has the freedom to go elsewhere and be a legit contender for a championship.
He could go on any team. Do you guys see the ESPN little simulator where they put LeBron James on every NBA team to see how they would fare? So, for instance, with the Toronto Raptors, as an example, this is how the stipulations went. They would take LeBron James and put him in the small forward position, and they cut the worst player at that position. So they would have cut Bruno Caboclo, and they put LeBron James in there. I don't know why they did it that way, but that's what they did. And I think it was like the Rockets, the Raptors, the Clippers with Chris Paul back then. And like three other teams. Oh, the Cavaliers and the Golden State Warriors all won championships. And then I think it was like all but two teams didn't qualify for the playoffs with LeBron James. So when you put him on any team, you're instantly going to make the playoffs. That was the basis of the whole spiel I just had there. At the same time, you put him on any other team, like let's say you put him on the Miami Heat. Let's say you put him on, I don't want him to go to the Lakers. But maybe he goes to the Lakers with Paul George, and holy crap, then you have a real super team there. But at the same time, I don't think they could afford both guys. So that's neither here nor there. We'll get to that in a second. What is your top three destinations then, besides, let's say LeBron James is staying, so that's already on the table. What are your three destinations then, Elvin? You can go first as to where LeBron James might consider going then. Where's his top three?
His top three would be, of course, I would say San Antonio.
Oh.
I would say the Spurs. We're at the 3 spot that he plays. I could see him in Houston. And that third one is it's crazy.
Is he going to La La Land?
Like I said, I don't think LeBron. I would say more so the Knicks with Porzingis and Tim Hardaway Jr. than LA, man. LA has too much rebuilding to do, man. Like entirely, they have no. When you get to LA, you have no guy. You know what I'm saying? You get if he was to go to New York, he has a young bull and Tim Hardaway Jr., Kristaps Porzingis, right? So that allows him to play his natural game. I don't think LeBron wants to go anywhere where he has to play in Superman mode every minute of every game.
He's done doing that. He was done doing that before he went to Miami.
Yeah, so right now he's wanting to go where everybody's style of play complements each other, and that's where the win happens, right? Like, and I think right about now, if he was to go to the Spurs, like that would it'd be crazy.
You imagine him, Rudy Gay, and Kawhi Leonard running the 3 position for him?
No, I'm pretty sure they would move Kawhi to the 2.
Jesus
Let LeBron at the 3, and then you have LaMarcus. You got Danny Green and you got Rudy Gay coming off the bench. You know what I'm saying? Like,
or do you even use LeBron James as a point guard at points, and then Tony Parker just sits back?
With a team like that, that's when that's prime. That's like heaven to have Tony Parker out there at your point guard with a team like that, because he don't have to do so much, right?
He'll just thrive. True. So. And then LaMarcus Aldridge, not even forget about that.
Yeah,
hey man, Pau Gasol. But anyways, what do you think, Jake? If you say the Phoenix Suns, sorry to cut you off. If you say the Phoenix Suns.
What's that?
If you say the Phoenix Suns, I swear to
God. That
was actually my third.
Don't say the Raptors.
Anyway,
don't say the Raptors.
That's my little thing.
First one probably be the Spurs again.
That's
he's not in, like you guys said, he's not in rebuild mode. That's not what he wants to do. He wants to go and he wants to win, and he doesn't want to put in the maximum effort he used to have to do with Cleveland. So the best option right now would be the Spurs. I don't know if the Rockets could afford him though.
That's a tough one. Yeah, no one wants to take. Not Ryan Anderson. What's that last name? It's a tall guy. Everyone, they were trying to trade him in the summertime. He used to play for the Orlando Magic. He's a tall guy, shoots threes. Anderson's the last name.
That's his name.
Ryan
Anderson.
Ryan Anderson. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm thinking Kyle Anderson of the London Lightning. My bad.
No, that's Ryan Anderson too.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Kyle Anderson plays with the Spurs.
Yeah.
That's so many Andersons. Anyways, nobody wants to take his contract, right? That's a big deal.
Yeah.
They were trying to dump it on the Knicks, and the Knicks were not even interested in that. Yeah. Sorry, keep going.
Second team, Sixers. Because that's a team that I think if you add LeBron, I know. If you add LeBron, they're done.
Ben Simmons, Embiid,
and
Markelle Fultz.
Even when Markelle Fultz come back, he gets some development in there. LeBron will be huge with that.
JJ Redick.
Jesus, Charlie, shot.
Well, that's the thing too with like Redick and I forget who else it was. They're on 1-year contracts. Amir Johnson. So when they're gone, that frees up a whole lot of cap space.
Yeah.
Which you'll need for LeBron, and then it's just a matter of putting a bench together after that.
But they already have a pretty decent bench with Rashawn Holmes, that French dude with the 2 last names.
Well, both of those guys are up to at the end of this year.
Yeah.
Oh, their rookie contracts are up?
Yeah.
But I mean, I think they
have bird rights, right?
Yeah.
But anyways, neither here nor there. That's an interesting.
And then you can bring Covington off the bench.
I was just going to say with Robert Covington right there too, or if you put him at the stretch 4.
Yeah, so
that's not bad. Don't forget Dario Saric. That's an interesting little take.
Because that would complete the process.
You stop.
They don't have to. It's not like it's not like my third
Sam Hankey's gonna. Oh my God, Sam Hankey's sitting there going, "I knew it. That was the whole process." Yeah, right. Sitting there on his computer screen writing his manifesto. My process, the process. By anyways. So going to Paul George for a second here. Paul George, I read a little article on him. There was an investigation with the NBA this past summer involving him and the Lakers and Brian Shaw. Paul George was recently asked about his stance on being a Oklahoma City Thunder next year, and he said he wants to play it out very respectably. He wants to see where it leads to. He also said that he and 70 to 80% of the league would want to play back home. Now, Elvin, I'm going to ask you first, since you're the former player. I already know my answer. I would definitely come and try and play for the Toronto Raptors, rather here nor there. Elvin, would you try and go home and play for the Orlando Magic or Miami Heat if you had the opportunity? Or are you one of those guys where you're just loyal to where you get drafted if you have an opportunity to stay there?
No, it's not about, because this is still a business, right? So it's no, you're appreciative. It's no crazy loyalty to where I'm going to turn down great or better situations for myself just to stay somewhere. But I still whether it's home or not, if I would consider it more if they're legit contenders. If we're legit contenders to make pushes in the playoffs and to get past the first round and stuff, that's a no-brainer. But if I'm going somewhere and it's just a crazy young team and I'm having to go there and I'm having to, put up about 30 points a night just for us to have a chance at winning, then no, I'm not really looking, to do that. Because right about now, guys are looking at the NBA. They're looking at longevity, right? Mm-hmm. They're not looking to play 7-8 years and then body run in the dirt and then they're that superstar that's bouncing from team to team to team to team, right? They want to be a very impactful player for a long time. And it has changed, right? Like it has gone away from having that one guy like a Jordan that comes out and has to give it all 82 games every single night. Yeah, every night and stuff. Like those days are done because the league is so talented now.
Everyone rides on Tom Thibodeau for
like you will burn out mid-season. The league is full of talent. Like, you know what I'm saying? Every team has people that can legit go, so you're not going to have those easy-going nights, so to say. So
the lights are flickering. I don't know what happened there. But anyways, Jesus Christ. So, do you think he's going to end up going to the Lakers or no?
I'll be honest with you, with a guy like Paul George, man, though being the way that he handled the Indiana situation, I can honestly say, if he said, I want to just play it out and see how it go, I kind of believe that. I don't think he's fully committed to LA or OKC.
So, if the Oklahoma City Thunder go out in the second round,
I think they have a better chance of keeping him. It's just because there's so much other stuff that plays in the factor there too, right? So
true. Okay, yeah. I think if they go to the Eastern or Western Conference Finals, I think if they finish off around there, that's a respectable area. I think if they leave in the second round, I think he might listen to a few offers. But at the same time, if they retain the bird rights to Paul George, they can offer him a lot more money. And does that come into a factor too? Because that's what ultimately I was wondering. Because if you're going to leave, you can only sign, what, a 4-year, 88 is the max you can leave for?
I think so.
Or it's like 120 or something like that. Or you can stay home and make $200 million plus.
Yeah, I think that's going to play a major role with that. But and for the money aspect of it, like we were saying with LeBron, like you have to take that into consideration. I don't think, I know he probably have a couple of endorsements, but off the court, Paul George is not making nearly as much as a Kevin Durant or James Harden or LeBron, in endorsement deal. So, if he has to pick that up on the court, then so be it.
Okay, so the whole Paul George, Brian Shaw thing, just to wrap it up there. Brian Shaw and Paul George are friends. They've been friends for a while. Brian Shaw used to work as an assistant coach for the Indiana Pacers. They developed a relationship there. Brian Shaw was investigated because it was rumored there was some tampering. Magic Johnson saying how they wanted Paul George to come play for them, all that stuff. The Lakers got a $500,000 fine for it. The NBA couldn't find anything. From what I looked into, there was a fishing trip involving Paul George and Brian Shaw, but that was all they could. Like, the NBA went and investigated it, and the Indiana Pacers were all upset because they went, "Oh, they're tampering," and then next thing you know, the NBA went, "No, we couldn't find anything. They just went on a fishing trip. People are allowed to hang out outside of the season."
What's the difference between players doing it though?
That's exactly
If you play for the Lakers and I'm a superstar somewhere and I'm a free agent, but
everyone's going to notice.
We happen to be friends or whatnot. You mean to tell me you're like, hey, let's go fishing, and I'm like, hey man, I can't because you play with a team.
His lawyer said not to though.
Yeah, but I mean,
still though, I agree with Brian Shaw. I think it would be like, this is my friend. I'm gonna go hang out with my friend. Stop it.
I mean, nobody know what they talked about out there. I mean, some million different things they could have discussed.
Do you think they did discuss him trying to come to the Lakers, or is that something that actually gets brought up?
Personally,
Is that kind of taboo?
It's a filler. You gotta understand. I mean, it's a filler. He probably throw it out there to see what his response will be, but
that's not Brian Shaw's whole basis of going, right? Like, he's not going there to just try and plug him. Like, that's kind of taboo, isn't it? Amongst
I think that's what people trying to just make it seem like he just went in and took him on this fishing trip and just was trying to hound him to be a Laker. Like, I mean, you're gonna throw a filler out there. I mean, I would do it. We could still be there, fishing as friends, and I'd be like, "Yo, what you think about coming out to LA or something?" You, hey man, I don't know. And just respect it as a friend and just leave it at that, But
oh, okay. So, what do you think, Jake?
I agree. I don't think there was nothing to find. Brian Shaw and him were both in Indiana for 3 years together. Who's to say that they weren't close friends from that time?
That's the easy way to develop a friendship.
Yeah. If you want to look into something like that for tampering, then you're going to have to look into the whole banana boat thing. LeBron, Carmelo, Chris Paul, Dwayne Wade, all that before Miami. And really, you can't nitpick. I think this is more actually on Magic Johnson than it's on Brian Shaw. I think Magic got himself into this.
Oh, him opening his big fat mouth on Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah. I think he made it verbal how much they wanted him, and then as soon as someone from the Laker organization,
he was asking for
personal relationship, had any interaction with Paul George, everybody jumped on that.
Yeah.
That's probably what Brian Shaw's lawyers were talking to him about, too. They're probably like, look, man, this couldn't have came at a worse time. Magic Johnson just talked on Jimmy Kimmel. You're doing this. Yeah, I don't know. And, anyways, moving on. Did you guys watch the Raptors game last night?
No.
DeMar DeRozan's had a hot week.
Yeah, he's been killing it, man.
He and the Toronto Raptors faced off against the Chicago Bulls, my new favorite team, Elvin. I told you that, right? They're my new favorite team.
Yeah, you've been real, high on the Bulls.
Listen to Elvin.
The past few episodes, he's been real high on the Bulls. That's
So the playoffs. Are they achievable for I'm just joking. Anyways, it's more about the Raptors, this one, actually. DeLon Wright and DeMar DeRozan played very well last night. DeMar DeRozan, 35 points, 3 boards, 6 assists. He didn't need to grab any rebounds because DeLon Wright had a career high in those. He had a career high in points, too. He had 25 points, 13 rebounds, 5 assists. That's not bad. That's pretty good. Elvin and I were talking about this last night when we were playing some video games. We were talking about how DeLon Wright's coming into his own and that each game he keeps getting better. It's more and more solidifies how the Raptors should have taken the look that we said and had Corey Joseph, Rajon Rondo, and DeLon Wright be their point guards and run it by committee. And I think you could have picked your poison and went, okay, we need a length point guard. We go put DeLon Wright out there. We need just a smart vet. Okay, we're gonna put Rajon Rondo out there. Okay, we need a little bit of everything. We're gonna put Corey Joseph out there.
Yeah, and still, I think they
save $30 million.
I still think, to be honest with you, like no joke, I think they're still in the position that they're in though.
They'd be about the same.
I still think they're second, third. I think that's where they're at with that, which is still great, right? And then you got 2 interchangeable pieces with Norman Powell and DeLon Wright,
Dwayne
right?
Casey has his brain farts. Rajon Rondo can be like, hey, I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, you know what my stance at on that anyway.
Kyle Lowry played okay, but anyways, it's more on DeMar DeRozan right now, guys. DeMar DeRozan, in my opinion, is now a top 3 MVP candidate. And here's why. He scored 85 points the last 2 games. He had a career high. He had the franchise record, 52. You saw that, Elvin. I know you saw that. You saw him score all those points. My thing is, he's averaging 25 points a game, 4 boards, 5 assists. That's a well-rounded there. He's improved his three-point percentage. He's 35% from 3. He is looking really confident right now from behind the arc. I would like to hear your guys' opinions. Jake, you can go first if you'd like. On where does DeMar DeRozan sit? Because I think this year could actually go to LeBron James, believe it or not. I know it's a redundant statement to say LeBron James for MVP, but he's playing excellent. But I think DeMar DeRozan deserves to be 3rd. I think the 2nd spot is up for Russell Westbrook and James Harden. It's up for debate. But anyways, what do you guys think, Jake?
Do you put him over Antetokounmpo? Do you put him over?
I do.
Durant?
I don't like the Bucks. Bucks suck.
Top 5? Yeah, I put him top 5. Maybe not as high as 3.
All right.
Because Antetokounmpo is having an amazing season. Harden.
It is true, yes.
You can't discredit anything that Russell Westbrook's doing right now.
Reigning MVP.
And then you got LeBron, KD. So he's definitely in the mix for the top 5 for me.
That's a league company, though, and that's something that hasn't happened for Toronto Raptor, even when Chris Bosh was there. And I loved Chris Bosh. Chris Bosh's highest... No, look at you laughing. Listen, look at this guy laughing. Anyways, his highest voting was 7th, and the highest we ever had a Toronto Raptor, if I remember correctly, I did a little research, was 5th for Vince Carter. That's the highest we've ever had a player finish for MVP voting. My point is this. Is DeMar DeRozan right now on pace to be more impactful than Vince Carter was to our franchise? I personally don't think so, but the numbers are going to start to suggest it. If he finishes, let's say, 4th in MVP voting, does that make him a more impactful player? Okay, here's where I don't think so. I think DeMar DeRozan wouldn't be a Toronto Raptor if Vince Carter wasn't on our team. If we had a guy like, for instance, if we had the same situation happen in Vancouver that happened to us, where instead of having Vince Carter, we just had... And we didn't have Tracy McGrady either, because anyways, if we didn't have those two guys and just had solid role players like Sharif Abdur-Rahim, just a regular all-star and unfortunately just not a sexy name to kind of carry us through, I think the Raptors would have moved in around 2003, 2004. I think personally around then.
Yeah. I feel what you're saying with that, but I still don't think that he has a chance to be a more impactful player.
He's got to win a championship, doesn't he?
Than Vince Carter.
That's the only way to be more impactful.
Vince Carter just actually put the Raptors there. Like he gave them that appeal, right? That players would want to come there. He pretty much like here. You see all Andrew Wiggins, Tristan Thompson, all them. They was like that guy was their Jordan. Right, he inspired a lot of people that are from Canada that's in the NBA today. So to say more impactful, no. As far as top 5, there's some names on that list. Like he said, Kevin Durant, LeBron, Westbrook, James Harden, Antetokounmpo. I'm sorry, he has had a run, and I mean, even from a couple of years ago when I said I didn't think that DeRozan could be like a franchise player, I came back the next year and was like, look, that dude proved me wrong, but. You still can't discredit. You can't discredit. Now, will he be in that company one day? I think is very capable, very, very capable.
He's showing it, yeah.
But to say now because he's had a hot stint, like to just say, okay, he's had a hot stint over the last 3-4 games. Let's just boot out what these guys have done for 30+ games.
He's got to do a little more. Okay.
Yeah, it's just. I mean, don't get me wrong. He's an amazing talent, and love watching him play because he is like. When people always trying to compare Devin Booker to Kobe, like, he's the next Mamba.
No, DeMar
DeRozan, like with his footwork and his mid-range jumper and stuff like that. I just think if he was to ever get that killer mentality,
I was thinking that last night too.
Killer mentality like Kobe, it would pretty much remind me of Kobe out there.
He's got the athletic ability.
He has the athletic ability. He has the patience. He has the footwork. He has all that going, man. So it's like. He has
the hairline too. He's got the high forehead.
I just feel bad that his counterpart disappear in big games on him though.
Now let's not discredit Devin Booker here.
No, I'm not discrediting.
That's my son.
I'm not discrediting Devin Booker at all. But
I like that comparison too. I remember saying that when he kept taking a more and more smoother approach to his game, and he was staying more in the 2-point range, staying in the mid-range game. Because Kobe Bryant, he could knock down threes. Don't get me wrong. At any time you leave him open or you leave him to get a shot up, he'll take it. But Kobe Bryant's bread and butter was always in the mid-range.
Yeah.
And he's got smooth footwork. They're both from LA. Well, Kobe's not from LA, but he played in LA for 20 years. DeMar DeRozan came up a Lakers fan. I kind of like that comparison. I really do. Anyways, Jake, what do you think about DeMar's impact as a Toronto Raptor?
I think he needs a championship if he's going to surpass Vince Carter.
That's the only way, yeah.
Because, like Elvin said, you said, he put Toronto on the map. A superstar can play in Canada and want to stay for a while. The only thing possibly would be a championship to me. Even though I think, what's the highest seed that the Raptors have been with?
They went to the second round. They almost went to the Eastern Conference Finals. They lost to the Sixers.
Well, what was their the highest seed?
Oh, the highest seed they ever were. Well, technically they were a third seed, but that's when the NBA had it where if you won your division and stuff like that.
Yes.
Also, here's the other thing. DeMar DeRozan's won more games as a Toronto Raptor than Vince Carter has.
Yeah.
Does that come into factor for you guys? Because that's something I was looking into. He's won more games. He's went further than Vince Carter ever did. He scored more points in the playoffs than Vince Carter has. He's played more playoff games as a Raptor than Vince Carter has. I know it's hard for Toronto Raptor fans and from the outside to go, well, Vince Carter is second. But at some point, is that something to consider maybe? Or is it the same way like this? Paul Pierce has all the stats for the Boston Celtics. He's passed John Havlicek. He's passed Larry Bird and all those fellas. But Paul Pierce is not the greatest Celtic of all time.
No. He won't be. I mean, granted, him winning more games than Vince Carter and all that. I still say at least he has to at least win the Eastern Conference Finals.
And go to the finals.
Yeah, and get to the finals. And it's no knock to DeRozan because he's doing an amazing job there. But when you're talking about, surpassing a Vince Carter and people like that, then, I mean, the bar is so high. It is very, very high.
Fine. Did a lot of research. I thought I could get you with the playoff games. But do you guys think the Raptors could finish first this year? Look at his face, though.
I'm not. I mean, it's professional sports.
They have five less games played than the Celtics at the moment.
Yeah, I mean,
so they have to fill that gap.
Yeah, it's just it's like I said, with knowing professional sports is very possible in the position that they're in. But I mean, just because they're running on a little hot streak right now, I'm not gonna say they're finishing first in the East. I'm not gonna say no, it's not gonna.
Okay, fine. Even though Dwayne Casey's head coach of the month? No? All right, fine. Okay, so we got some NBL news.
Yeah.
Elvin.
Yeah.
Why don't you take it away, fella?
Oh, had a nice game last night with the London Lightning and the Niagara River Lions. From watching it, Niagara started out very hot. They started out very hot, led by the guy Marvell White. He was
him and Royce got into that altercation.
Yeah, in the first quarter, he was 6 for 6, 7. So he didn't miss until the second quarter.
Yeah, no, they were dropping a lot.
Yeah, and he was 11. Yeah, he didn't miss, man. It was crazy. He was 13 for 19 from the floor. He finished with 38 points.
Shoot.
But London, they came out in the third quarter, and Doug Herring Jr. went off for 12 points, and then the first 7 minutes of that quarter to give London that lead. And Royce was just Royce down low, and Ryan he hit a big three that tied the game up for him. It was down 3, and he came down.
How much time was left?
No, it was still a few minutes left because it was prior to him fouling out.
Wait, Ryan Anderson fouled out?
Yeah, Royce fouled out.
Royce and Ryan fouled out?
Yeah, they both fouled out.
Oh,
damn. Yeah, he came down. He took a couple. They was borderline air balls, and the Niagara just didn't come down and capitalize. They came back down and just yelled up a quick shot, and then all of a sudden Ryan comes down and bam, hits them with one that ties the game up, and now they back in a scramble. From watching that game, from Niagara you can take a lot of pluses out. They have a scrappy team. They have a team that'll come out and compete. It's just being a former player. It's just hard for me when I look at sometimes the basketball IQ, right? When you're playing against a defending champion like London and you got your foot on their neck, you can't come down and have mental lapses.
There was something you were telling me about,
with the coach.
You were
right?
questioning. Yeah.
No, I promise you, I called it. Jacob, probably, if he was watching the game, he'll know what I'm talking about. So London's down 2. They take a shot. Niagara gets the rebound. They foul. They send them to the line.
How much time's left?
It's probably 18 seconds.
Okay.
Yeah,
they send them to the line. So Niagara knocks down 2 free throws. Bam, bam, right? They're down. London's down 4. London doesn't have any timeouts left. But Niagara coach calls a timeout, right? To try to set up some kind of defensive play.
Why?
And you give the team a free chance to advance the ball.
Take a chance. If they score, then you
at least you make them use some time, because what it is, subconsciously, that clock is in your mind. If somebody makes you use 7 seconds getting up the court, you're trying to hurry up and get down here and get a shot up, right? It's not going to be the best shot. Even the shot that was hit wasn't the best shot, but it was with so much time. They gave it to Kurt Williams Jr. He's a former, finals MVP. He does this funky turnaround, hits a 3. That puts them down 1. They foul a guy again. He goes to the free throw line. He hits 2 free throws. London comes back down. They have a mental lapse on defense.
Now there's like 10 seconds left, isn't there?
Leaves Kurt Williams open again, and he banks in a 3 to tie the game up.
So they just gave him 2 quality shots, and all they had to do was just play it out.
Make them use the clock, because that clock is against them.
Because even if, let's say, because here's what I would have done, and I'm an okay coach, I guess, but here's what I would have done. Let's say, okay, so you're Niagara. I'm the coach of Niagara right now, and I have the London Lightning, we just scored our free throws, and there's 18 seconds left, and we don't call a timeout, actually. We play it out. I tell everyone to get the heck back except for my point guard. I have my point guard pressure the point guard just enough. I want him to eat like 4 seconds or so. Eat about 4 seconds. Try to make him not make the easy initial pass, because London's got a play set up because they don't have timeouts. They're trying to convey during their little free throw line. Yeah. During the free throw, they're going to try and set something up quickly, right? That's what the coach is going to do. Anyways, so I'm not calling a timeout. I'm playing it out, and I'm going to assume London doesn't get a 3. London gets a quick 2. I'm going to assume London comes in. I'm going to say Bryce ends up getting her. Somebody just ends up getting a quick bucket. That still puts us up 2. That's when the coach puts the timeout in there. No, that's when if you're going to use one, right? That's where or if not, you just play it out, because you still have you're up 2 and the ball's in your hands. And let's assume you took 6 seconds off, so now you have 12 seconds, and they're going to have to foul you. So then you're going to make your next 2, and then you're up 4 again. Ready?
But I was just a student of the game from the day I picked the ball up, right? So me personally, if I'm going to take the time out to go over defensive schemes, it's going to be after they foul me to send me to the free throw line. That way, it's not like you're running a set then. It's going to be 2 free throws and they're getting the ball. That's when you call the timeout. You get your defensive scheme, put your guy out there, let him hit the 2 free throws, and then your team know what's going on. Not shoot the 2 free throws, and then after you shoot the 2 free throws, you turn around and call a timeout. That's going to benefit the other team. And it's just one of those things that, like, with a team like that, because, to be honest with you, London showed that they're a championship team. They was down like 15, 17 points at one point, and they didn't panic. They clawed away, and then they eventually was up by like 10 points at one point. So that shows the difference between winning a basketball game and then knowing how to win a basketball game. And at that point, it came down to the fact that knowing how to win a basketball game, and it just didn't work out.
Apparently something happened with our live feed. Anyways. So that's very interesting on the decision making there. And I'm trying to figure out why they would do that. But anyways, there was a scuffle, wasn't there, Jacob?
Yeah, if you want to call it that.
What was the scuffle?
I saw the clip somebody posted on the fan page. I guess Omar Strong, I don't want to call it a punch. It wasn't a punch. Put it in the face of Anderson. Anderson flopped.
So he moved his hand in the general area.
I think he did make contact, though. It wasn't like a closed fist punch, per se, but he got up in Anderson's face, and Anderson flopped, and Freeze and Lottie took offense to that and started getting physical with Omar. Both teams, it's top to bottom of this franchise, don't like each other. So
there's more beef with the London Lightning and the Niagara River Lions than there is the Windsor Express and the Lightning right now.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, I like this though. I like that London's kind of a bit of a villain, aren't they? Right now, they're kind of making everyone upset. Kind of, we'll get out of my way, kind of thing. What do you think of this little scuffle, Elvin?
To be honest with you, man, don't get me wrong, it was a flop. But that's just in the nature of it, right? We see it in every sport. Somebody get bumped at like somebody hit them in the face with a sledgehammer or something, man. That's just how it is. But to be honest with you, I didn't see any, yell for people to be thrown out of the game in that right there. I think just due to incidents leading up to this, the referees are just a little more stricter on that stuff, so they just do it. But it's crazy to me, and I don't side with like anybody. Right is right, wrong is wrong. But even when Royce did the whole forearm, it was a lot of acting going on in that fall too.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see on these fan pages over the next day or so how many people come in like, blowing it all out of proportion now. It's kind of the same
Ryan's
thing.
A big boy. Why didn't you take the hit?
That's what's going to come down. Size is going to come to play in that. But it's just It's just that. But like I was talking to Jake before we started, man. I just like to see them take a night where they just take hockey rules and just be like, you know what, like we're gonna let them go until somebody falls, and we'll see like who the real tough guys are then, right? Like it's easy to be a tough guy when you know 6 or 7 people. Showing. Yeah, when 6 or 7 people gonna run in between and pull everybody apart. Like everybody's a tough guy then, right? Like let me at him. But you know, you mess around and 2 guys get ready to get into it, and they standing there and they like, wait. Nobody pulling us apart. Like we're really gonna have to do this. Like, oh man, I'm gonna just play basketball. You know,
I don't really know how to where do I put my hands.
So
wow, that's awesome. Yeah, and the meme we're talking about, or the little GIF we're talking about, is the 2 dogs that are barking at each other through the fence. Yeah. And then all of a sudden they move the little fence away, and the dogs still keep barking at each other, and they don't actually get close. Like, I'll get you. But anyways. Any other points from the game you want to go over? Doug Herring Jr. I saw was player of the game. What did he do?
What did he have? He had 26, 7, and 5.
Did he step it up in overtime for him?
He was he really stepped it up in that third quarter. He had 12, 13 of his 25 in that quarter.
And that's when they were down, right?
And they was down 9 at the half, and I think at one point they was on like a 17-4 run, all led by him. So. Yeah, it was big, but like they had the guy, that Marvell White guy, like he was, be honest with you, like he got him off to that hot start, and then he kept him within that 3-4 point range, and then all of a sudden he went off and got him the lead. It was just like I honestly like
it was a chess match. And
decision making wise as players, I think if Niagara had a few more guys who made better decisions, like they'll come down and get a stop and be up 2. And it'll come down, and I seen one time they came down, and what it is when you're dealing with players like Ryan and Garrett and Kurt Williams Jr., like you have to capitalize on stuff, but then you gotta weigh your odds. You gotta be like, you know what, this is not in my favor right now. And the momentum's your way. If I'm coming down 1-on-1, I know it's a chance that I'm gonna either blow the layup because you're bigger, stronger than me, or I might pick up a fluky charge. I'm gonna just pull it back out. We're gonna set up our offense, make you play on defense, and get a good quality shot there. There's a couple of times Niagara would get like strips or get a block and be out on the break like 1-on-2 and try to go and attack the basket on like 2 defenders and miss it, and you can't give a team
and
like London
multiple possessions, right? Yeah, they got everything in their favor.
You can't give a team like London. You can't give them too many chances to make their stamp on the game. If you got them down, you just gotta like stick with your guns of what got you there.
Yeah,
you know, and maybe they learned something from that game. You know, go back and watch film and just like actually learn, because it was a straight, you know, punch for punch. It was, you know, London make a big play, Niagara come back, make a big play, and vice versa. And then it got down to the end, and like I say, to the day, I don't understand that timeout by the coach to give the other team a free. Yeah, I don't understand it. So it's like,
what about you, Jake? Anything you saw that you liked?
It was actually probably the most exciting game of the year so far.
Oh,
it was one of the good ones.
Good storyline behind it too.
Yeah,
the crowd looked nice too, actually.
Are we going to get into that?
I would like to. We don't have to.
Okay, so we got some fan reporting that there was a couple rowdy fans on the sideline. Those rowdy fans turned out to be the owner of the not the London Lightning, sorry, of the Niagara River Lions and his girlfriend.
Having fun. That's why he bought the team. He wanted to have some fun, right, Elvin? He was.
Well, I don't know.
Brought someone just to drop it low. But anyways. Congratulations also to Royce White, his little mask and all. He's a player of the week.
Yeah.
And Antoine Mason of the Halifax Hurricanes.
Mm-hmm.
Jake, you want to tell us a little about Antoine?
Son of Anthony Mason, NBA player.
Really?
Yeah. Yep.
Former Nick.
Former Nick, yep.
Tough guy. Tough bastard.
Mason's a real nice player. Tough like his dad. Good shooter. He's probably Halifax's best player this season.
Oh, really?
He actually won Sixth Man of the Year, questionable decision. He started more games than he didn't last year, but he's reigning Sixth Man of the Year. He's starting this year. Halifax hasn't had the season they really wanted so far. But if they didn't have Antoine Mason, who actually was a late addition to training camp just before the season started, they weren't sure if they're going to get him back. I think he was not drafted, but he was picked up by a D-League team, I think, on the offseason. So having him back late to start the season was huge for Halifax, because they're not where they are without Antoine Mason right now. No discredit to Billy White, C.J. Washington, Clink Scales. They're great players, but I think the Atlantic's gotten really competitive this year.
You were saying, though, they're not happy with the start they had. What do you mean by that?
Well, last year I don't have the record offhand, but they were the clear leaders of the Atlantic Division.
Okay.
Mid-season, St. John made a push, but Halifax was the clear.
It was theirs to lose.
Yeah. And this season, I think they're currently sitting second, or they're kind of in the third area with Moncton.
And they don't want to be the ICL.
Yeah. So Moncton, like even not St. John, apologize, the Island Storm has taken the Atlantic, and that's a spot Halifax is used to having. Because a lot of people, you look at how London's dominated this league from day one. Halifax has been to 4 of the 6 finals. And people forget that.
Actually, you're looking at one of them.
Yeah.
For real. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, St. John made 2... No, Island Storm have been to 2 finals back when they were the summer side.
Yeah.
And otherwise, it's been Halifax in the finals.
True. Because it was... I'm thinking...
Who'd you play against, Elvin?
Because I know the year prior to me coming here, they played Halifax in the finals and beat them. And then the year I came here, we beat the Storm.
Yep.
In the finals. And then the following year, it was Halifax.
So they're always in the mix.
No, I think Halifax has been there 5, wasn't it?
I think the Storm have been to 2.
No, because I know we played them. That's when they had Brandon. That's when they had Brandon Robinson and Amari Johnson, and they had the one kid. His name was Josiah Turner.
Oh yeah.
They had that team, and that's when we played them in the finals. But then the following year was it was Windsor and.
Is that the year?
No, it was Windsor and the Storm.
Yeah, Windsor
in the Storm, because that's when Darren Duncan was having like those triple doubles, crazy triple doubles. Yeah. So and then it was Halifax the next 3 years. Yeah. So yeah, it has done them 4 out of the 6 years.
That's a good franchise then.
Yeah.
But anyways, and what I also meant by the crowd there, Jacob, I meant it was a healthy number of people showing up. Elvin, what did you think of the live feed? I saw some of it, and I was actually impressed from the year from 2012-13 when I first really started paying attention to the league and started tuning in on Facebook Live and stuff like that, and YouTube Live. Their feed has gotten a lot better. The camera quality could be a little bit better, but that's for everyone.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I've been very impressed. What do you guys think? Elvin, you can go first.
Yeah, I just think it's getting better every year. I mean, and that's what you want to see. You know, like it's getting better. With me, what I liked about it is that it was simple. You know, it was open. You can just see both ends of the floor. It at that angle, you know, the camera kind of angles on one half, the other half kept it simple. Because I know, like last week when I was watching the Titan game, and they try to use the overhead turning camera, and a lot of times it'll freeze, and the action is just happening on this end. You know, probably, you can't see anything, and then eventually it turns, and you see them scuffling for a rebound, and then it fights back down. So you're missing like a lot of the game like that. So I just like the simplicity. As far as clarity and, you know, being able to hear everything, like it was, I didn't see anything wrong with it at all.
Yeah, no, I was very impressed. But anyways, we're going to be wrapping it up in a sec because we've been on for a bit, guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, the league's getting into a good spot. Oh, Charlie, you got to get into the shot one more time, don't you? Yeah, thank you. That's nice. Thank you, Charlie. Appreciate that, you little bastard. Anyways, we got some sponsors to get through quickly. I think Johnny's going to go see Mr. Juan Carranza down at the Cherry Hill Mall. You can text him at 519-719-5721. That's 519-719-5721. It's the Cherry Hill Mall. Elvin.
Yeah.
Somebody actually called my brother.
They did?
I kid you not.
Yeah, I woke up this morning, man.
Thank you.
I woke up, I said, shit, I should have called Seth. I had to go out and, you know, brush the snow off and do a little shoveling, man. All the time I was like, you know, I was just, you know, just mad at myself, man. So
that's what I'm saying, man. You can reach my little brother Seth, Perennial Landscaping. They have a website and all. You can reach him at 519-532-0076. That's 519-532-0076. That was for you, Elvin. Since I'm wearing a 70s porn star shirt, I had to give you my 70s radio voice. By the way, guys, do you have anything else you want to add? What about you, Jacob?
Back on the topic of the River Lions and their broadcast.
Oh, Jesus.
No. This is not criticism. I actually think the River Lions have had one of the best media teams in the league since they started.
You're very impressed, aren't you?
I am.
They're going to be one of the best ones until we get involved. But anyway, never mind.
There you go. Nope. Top to bottom, that's a well-run organization. Petco and I can't remember his partner's name right now. They've done a great job. Attendance is a little down, I think, this year for most teams except for Niagara. So whatever they're doing is working over there. They produce a lot of great graphics and media, video content. And I think a lot of teams in the league could learn from that. So that's my piece.
Oh. And by the way, Jacob Beckett, he runs NBL CNET. He's an admin for the NBL Canada Facebook page. Yeah, you can reach it all on the NBL CNET. It's a Facebook page. It's all there. Anyways, yeah. Anything else you guys want to add?
No, that's it, man. I'm good.
All right, cool.
Good.
Everybody have themselves a wonderful day. We're just going to cut the audio first, so then we don't just cut it right away. But anyways.